two breathtaking EV models are banging on every door right now. Whether you are a fan of EVs or not, you must have come across so many headlines and buzz about the crazy good models from MG and Renault, both of which are changing the game. Not only do they own the game, but they're also seriously challenging the mainstream market as well. However, who's doing better at the moment? Will it be an edge of your seat battle, or would one blow the other away by a country mile? This and many more will be discussed in this video. Also, if you stick around till the end, we'll show you just about how MG4 is seemingly selling better at the moment. Take one quick second to imagine a test drive. What are the first things you notice when you're on Hot Wheels? How blistering quick is it? How quiet is it? One of the exhilarating talking points of the Renault Megane tech is its quick acceleration. It's almost like a cheetah. It has a 215 HP electric motor driving right on its front wheels. With that in mind, we're pretty sure you already know how insane that is for an EV. With a top speed of 160 kilometers per hour, capable of going from 0 to 100 miles per hour in only 7.4 seconds, it is just a little bit quicker than the MG4. If you like insanely fast cars, perhaps you should take notes. Curious about how the MG4 would match up in a race? The MG4 also has a top speed of 160 kilometers per hour, but as stated earlier, the Megane tech narrowly takes the slight win for acceleration, as the MG4 can only go from 0 to 100 miles per hour in 7.9 seconds. The difference is minimal. It's just 0.5 seconds apart, but is that going to be a deal breaker for you? Also, there's something we'd like to add. Remember the Megane's horsepower and front-wheel drive. When driving on some roads, you'd really have to be gentle, treat it like an egg. On rainy days and when the road is slippery and wet, especially if the front wheels aren't pointing straight ahead, if you put your foot down hard, the front wheels may start to spin before the traction control jerks to life, cutting off the power temporarily, of course. Are you a fan of your cars being as silent as a ninja? Then this will shock you. When Renault made the Megane tech, I'm sure their team got so pleased. They packaged extra sound insulation into the floor to dramatically reduce road noise, which is so quiet. Given how they called it the cocoon effect, it's safe to say it's a title that fits right in, wouldn't it? In terms of noise production, the Megane tech is quite up there. In fact, it outperforms several of its rivals, like the Born and the MG4. No matter what scenario you're in, you'd almost instantly notice minimal wind fluttering around the windscreen. Everything about the Megane tech is so hush, right down to the suspension. Can we all hail the magical Megane? Moving past that, here are some things the MG4 does so right. To put it plainly, the previously produced MG cars were a bit lackluster and unappealing in appearance, both inside and out. This was especially troubling for users already used to flashy or even simple but sophisticated designs. Then came the MG4 EV to change everything for the better. If you take one look at it, you'd already know it has a better, modern, dare I say, sexy outlook. Coming to the front, you'd notice it is bold, and from the back end, it almost looks like a sports car. Don't get us wrong, a couple of the materials used for the interior rim aren't exactly of high-end premium quality, but regardless, it just feels completely modern and practical. Did you know even the dials were upgraded? The previous generation of MG cars had a 7-inch digital display, but on the MG4, we have a substantially improved 10.25 inches. How do the respective batteries stack up, though? The MG4 comes with an expected lithium-ion battery, but the nominal capacity was rated to be an impressive 64.0 kilowatt-hours with 104 cells. As for the usable capacity, it is 61.7 kilowatts. What about the Renault Megane tech? Here, the lithium-ion battery type has a nominal capacity of 60.0 kilowatt-hours and a whopping 288 cells. As for the capacity of the battery that is usable, it is 55.0 kilowatts. In terms of who is better in this category, it's a bit of a mixed feeling. Regardless of how great both of them are, taking a pick would ultimately depend on your scale of preferences, as you would most certainly have to make some sacrifices. Do you prefer your battery to have a larger number of cells, or is a higher nominal capacity music to your ears? While you're thinking about that, are you a fan of having fabulous colors immediately available to you after purchase? Here's an interesting piece for you. The MG4 also gained a lot of appraisal from users about the color option 6. To be precise, the 6 colors were named Pearl Black, Camden Gray, Hoban Blue, Dynamic Red, Volcano Orange, and Arctic White. But what about the Megane Tech Electric? Well, it was also launched with 6 different colors, but not as interesting as MG's. The available options were the Raphael Gray, Schist Gray, Glacier White, Flame Red, Diamond Black, and finally, the Midnight Blue. In comparison, could the snazzier color options available on the MG4 have been enough to attract more buyers for them over the Megane Tech? Maybe, but we can't really say for sure, can we? Alas, one really clear thing in favor of the MG4 was its value. At launch, the SE standard range was priced at $31,000, the Salon range was $34,000, and the SE Trophy was around $37,500. Tempting prices, don't you think? The MG4 is easily a beast. Here you would definitely be getting a fantastic value for money. As for the Megane Tech, the recommended retail price was around $41,000 to $45,000, a significant difference. To further buttress just how good for value the MG4 is, we need to look at other EVs for a broader perspective. Did you know the MG4 is well below the retail prices of the following competitors, like the Nissan Leaf, Renault Zoe, and even the Volkswagen EVs? It's no surprise to see why the MG4 sold so well. It's capable of being just as good as the Renault Megane Tech. It's even better in some aspects, while still maintaining a moderate cost level. Surely there has to be something terrible about the MG4, right? Well, yes, but to be fair, it's quite minimal, especially when you think about the price point on offer. However, here are our general concerns with the MG4. For one, the back seats are severely cramped. It's almost like they didn't want someone sitting right at the rear. And finally, the noise. Whenever you're driving at high speed, it can get really uncomfortable. Interestingly, hushed sounds are one of the strongest points of the Renault Megane Tech Electric. Trust me, that mechanical wonder is super quiet. Ever since the Chinese SAIC conglomerate took over MG, the range of cars that have been produced has not only been practical, but they also seem to be well equipped and of amazing value compared to a lot of the competition out there. However, one thing they could be doing better is the intrinsic value of being desired. For some reason, people just seem to overlook it. The MG4 has made so many things right, and we're sure it has turned the heads of many people out there. The road to stardom is clearer than ever for MG, and the fact it is even a competition to the amazing Megane Tech from Renault easily proves it. At the moment, is it perfect? No, far from it. You can easily criticize the few plastic interiors and finishing, so it's still far from the finished report. However, When choosing the best value option, sacrifices have to be made. And in the case of the MG4, its overall performance outpaces its cons by a country mile. Here's an added advice I'd also like to add. Many people took the MG4 on an unsatisfactory test run, leading them to look into other brands and pay those extra costs for a better option. So to prevent a mistake, try one out before you make a purchase. Do you want more interesting videos like this? Do well to subscribe and turn on post notifications to get updated on our videos. Trust us, you'll want to be the first to see our other videos as soon as we drop them.